Hi, today we're going to be interviewing Karen Duenas on her media product, The Final Whistle. Karen, can you tell me a little bit about your media product?
So I recently released a media product called The Final Whistle. So this film is about two soccer players, where one soccer player receives a scholarship because of how good his stats are for playing soccer, and when this soccer player tells his friend that he won the scholarship, his friend becomes envious. He becomes jealous, which caused because he was also competing for the same scholarship. So the friend purposely injures the one who got the scholarship, causing the one that got the scholarship to have an injury and never be able to play soccer again.
Also, the film had a lot of drama in it, right?
It definitely did have a lot of drama.
Okay, Karen, I have a couple of questions I'm going to ask you. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. How have your technical skills developed through the process of production?
Okay, so my technical skills definitely did increase because I did have some knowledge of some camera shots and some camera angles because of just normal movies that you watch every day. But I definitely didn't know how to incorporate into my own film. I learned some new shots like the establishing shot, which is a really short shot, like it's like 3 seconds. And it just shows like where the scene is taking place. And I added that into my film. So I did like a 4 or 5 second scene of a field. And I feel like this really added to the film because it helped the audience know where the scene is taking place, and it just has a bit helps the audience have a better understanding of the film. I also added the over the shoulder shot, which I usually see in a lot of movies when people are having conversations, but I just I never put much thought into it. You just watch a movie and you just watch it. So in the over the shoulder shot, like I feel like it really helped it helps the audience have a better understanding because you better see the facial expressions of the person talking, and behind you see like the person that's listening like nodding their head or like going like this. Like it helps the audience just have a better understanding of what's going on. And those are just a few of the shots that I learned during my process of the film.
Wow, off of those examples, I can really see that you expanded your technical skill set.
Yeah, I did.
Karen, I have another question for you. How has your creative skill developed through the process of production?
Okay, so before my film, I had like no creative skills. Like when it came to editing the film, I had nothing because I usually the only editing I do is on my phone. If I have a video, I just cut the beginning of the video or I cut the end of the video. That's all I know how to do. So with this film, it was a lot of challenging. It was very challenging because we use this application called CapCut, and we ran into a lot of issues because some of the scenes you couldn't hear the sound well. Like the background sound would overcome what the characters were saying. So we had to mute the scene and add a sound just of the characters talking so it could sound better. And for me to be able to make both of the scene and the sound like coherent was very difficult, and especially adding the background music and the titles and the credentials, it was a lot of hours, it was a lot of YouTube videos watching to be able to create the film. So I definitely think it did increase because I had no knowledge whatsoever.
I see that your creative skills developed too. Was CapCut your first option?
CapCut was not my first option, actually. It was the third option. The first one, I honestly cannot remember the program name, but the second one was iMovie, and then we ended up going with CapCut.
All right, Karen, I have one question for you. So, were there any problems or challenges that you had to overcome during your media film?
There was definitely a lot of challenges. The main issue was that we had to refilm the same scene about 5 times because if it wasn't the weather that wasn't matching, like one scene it would be all sunny and then the next scene it would be gloomy. It would be that, of course, since both of our characters weren't specifically professionals on playing soccer, so we had to refilm the same scene a bunch of times because when one character would injure the other character, it wouldn't look coherent. Like the injury would be like one of them pushed the other soccer player. So it wouldn't match up to the injury because the injury is supposed to be on the foot. That's why the soccer player can't play soccer again. So we had to refilm that scene a bunch of times so it can actually look like something real and doesn't look staged. We also had to refilm the scout scene because first we had an idea of how we wanted it, and then we're like, actually no, we don't want it like that. We want 2 scouts, and we want one on the phone, actually like you can hear what he's saying, because at first we had a scout just nodding and looking at the computer, and we're like, that's not really gonna, like, the audience is not gonna know what is going on. We need the audience to have a better understanding, so we're gonna have the scout talking. So we had to refilm that scene too, and honestly it was a lot of refilming that took place.
So you really overcame those challenges, you learned, you up your skill sets, and you found solutions for those
Yes,
problems.
this film definitely did help me learn a lot of skills and broaden my knowledge on a lot of things. And it honestly makes me see films differently now, since I have a knowledge of me creating my own film.
That's good. Well, thank you for the interview, Karen.
Thank you for having me.
Bye.
Bye.